नितिन ठक्कर, सर का दोस्त है, सीनियर काउंसिल प्रेसिडेंट बॉम्बे बार एसोसिएशन।
Mr. Nitin Thakkar, Senior Advocate and President Bombay Bar Association. Mr. Vishal Kanade, Secretary Bombay Bar Association. Mr. Kuldeep Patil, Secretary AAWI are with us today. Thank you very much, sir, for traveling such a long distance to be with us this evening. कहाँ से आगे भाई? कहाँ के? अरे सुनो, बोल दिया. Already announced. We have already acknowledged the presence of all State Bar Council members who are here. I can repeat. Mr. D.P. Yadav, Mr. Yogesh Verma, Mr. Rajiv Dwivedi, Mr. Sachidanand, Mr. Murari, Himanshu, Mr. Jitendra, Mr. J.P. Singh, Mr. Rajiv Singh, Mr. Ram Chandra Prasad, Mr. Ramjat Jha, Ranjan Jha, Mr. Prem Shukla ji, Mr. Prem Oja, Mr. Ramakant Sharma, Chairman Bihar Council, we welcome you, sir.
Advocate Nitin Chaudhary, President Aurangabad High Court Bar Association.
Advocate Nitin Chaudhary, President Aurangabad High Court Bar Association, we who has travelled from Maharashtra for the purpose of this function. Please don't stand in the middle passage, please. सोनी इनके जरा नाम चाहिए फैमिली मेंबर्स के, कौन लिख रहा है?
सीजीआई तो आ गए, सीजीआई आ गए ऊपर।
नलिन बताओ क्या है ये कौन?
ये भी आ गए।
Friends, we are extremely delightful that family members of Honorable Chief Justice of India are with us today for participating in this function. We heartily welcome Mrs. Urmila Das. She is mother-in-law of the Honorable Chief Justice of India. Mrs. Neena Kulkarni, she is sister of Honorable Chief Justice of India. Mr. Dilip Kulkarni, brother-in-law of Honorable Chief Justice of India. Ms. Chitra Das, Mr. Mitra Das, Mr. Rebecca and Ms. Annie, all family members of Honorable Chief Justice of India. A hearty welcome to all of you and thank you very much for sparing your time for participating in this function. Thank you so much.
Honorable Law Minister also came.
Honorable Law Minister Shri Kiran Rijiju has already arrived, and in a short while from now the Honorable Chief Justice of India, Honorable Law Minister and other honorable guests would be with us.
That's one. D.P. Ravi Kumar.
Vishnu. Yes, sir.
Please confirm who the Supreme Court judges will come. When they will come on a dais, I will come.
Okay. We have done. Mr. Mohammad Mumtaz Pasha, Vice President Telangana High Court Bar Association. Welcome. कर दे हाँ हाँ ये नहीं वो हो जाएगा इट इज डन यार। अरे वो गेस्ट आ गए हैं, गेस्ट सब कम, आप इसमें ऐड कर दो।
तेलंगाना की लिस्ट में सी.एच. नागेश्वर और सीनियर एडवोकेट के
नाम बोल दिया वो तो
नाम
हाँ
ऐड करो।
हो जाएगा इसको बोल दो।
सीनियर एडवोकेट
ओके ओके मिस्टर
सी.एच. नागेश्वर
Mr. C.H. Nageshwar Rao, Senior Advocate, Telangana High Court. We welcome you, sir.
हरेंद्र सेंसिलवार का नाम है,
बोल दिया मैं, बोल चुका हूँ।
बोल लिस्ट में भी लिखा।
हाँ मैं बोल चुका हूँ।
ठीक।
ये मुझे आप राजेंद्र मेनन आए, ये नहीं है, ये नहीं है, गवाही नहीं है, सूर्यकांत नहीं, अरे तुषार तो नहीं है। Yes, sir. इसको कुछ नहीं Please don't stand in the middle passage, please. Honorable CJI and other guests are just about to come. Please vacate the middle passage.
सुरेश साहब का डाइस पे वहाँ पे रहेगा।
तुम तो आए हुए हैं ना, और कोई नहीं आए,
और किसी को नहीं देगा।
तो वो एम और शाह का हटा दो, उनका लगा
नहीं आ रहा है ना।
हटा दो उनका।
मतलब बस ये तो फिर सीनियरिटी जूनियरिटी वाली बात है।
हाँ हाँ, वो तो बहुत जूनियर है, बहुत जूनियर है। ये वेंकटरमन अब्दुल नजीर, इतना लास्ट भी मत करना। ये जो उधर कौन है चेयरमैन के साथ,
चेयरमैन के साथ में पहले तो
वो तो आ नहीं रहे ना, गवाही साहब तो।
उनको लगता है सूर्यकांत साहब की बात है।
आया सूर्यकांत,
देखे नहीं है। फर्स्ट में पहले भी तो आए थे ना, तो अंदर
आ गए। एक मुझे जरा लिस्ट, वो मैंने दी थी उनको, ये ले लो लिस्ट इनसे। ये आप ठीक कर दीजिए प्लीज। Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Honorable the Chief Justice of India, Justice D.Y.Chandrachud. We feel extremely honored and privileged to have with us Union Minister for Law and Justice, Honorable Shri Kiran Rijiju, Honorable Justice M.M. Sundaresh, Mr. R. Venkataramani, Attorney General of India, Mr. Justice Satish Chandra Sharma, Chief Justice, Delhi High Court, Justice Rajendra Menon, former Chief Justice, Delhi High Court. Welcome, sir. I request the Honorable Chairman, Bar Council of India, Vice Chairman and other honorable members to escort the honorable guest on the dais, please. Members, Bar Council of India, please come and take your seats. Honorable Justice Satish Chandra Sharma, Chief Justice, Delhi High Court. Justice M.M. Sundaresh, please. Mr. Patil, please escort Honorable Justice Sundaresh on the dais, please. Honorable Justice Satish Chandra Sharma, Chief Justice, Delhi High Court. Mr. Dhar, please escort Honorable Justice Satish Chandra Sharma on the dais, please.
नमस्कार सर।
Honorable Justice Rajendra Menon, former Chief Justice Delhi High Court and Chairman Standing Committee Bar Council of India. Mr. Sharma, please escort Justice Menon on the dais. Dear friends, felicitating Chief Justice of India, Honorable Justice D.Y.Chandrachud, is a joyous and momentous occasion for Bar Council of India. A jurist with inspirational vision, a philosopher, thinker, motivator with selfless devotion to the cause of justice, a personification of simplicity, grace, dignity, and humbleness. Justice Chandrachud has always considered himself a stream come Indian bar. Ladies and gentlemen, please give a standing ovation to the intellectual giant, Honorable Chief Justice of India, Shri Dhananjay Yashwant Chandrachud. Friends, it's our privilege and honor to have with us today Honorable Shri Kiran Rijiju, Honorable Union Minister of Law and Justice, Honorable Justice M.M. Sundaresh, Honorable Shri R. Venkatramani, Attorney General of India, Honorable Justice Satish Chandra Sharma, Chief Justice Delhi High Court, Honorable Justice Rajendra Menon, former Chief Justice Delhi High Court and Chairman Standing Committee Bar Council of India. Please give them a big round of applause. Now to begin the proceedings, may I request the Honorable Chief Justice of India, Honorable Law Minister, Honorable Justice M.M. Sundaresh, Honorable Justice S.C. Sharma, and other honorable guests present on the dais to please light the ceremonial lamp. Mrs. Dr. Jyoti Wagmare, who has traveled all through from Maharashtra, would be in attendance on this occasion with her Sanskrit chant. Dr. Jyoti Wagmare.
असतोमा सद्गमयम मृत्योमा अमृतम गमयम तमसोमा ज्योतिर्गमयम. This is the heritage of Indian culture. सारा अंधेरा दूर करने के लिए हमने यह क्षमा जलाई है. जलने वाला सिर्फ तेल नहीं, इसमें हमने अपनी कुछ जान भी मिलाई है. मौसम कोई भी हो अपना घर बनाना सीख जाते हैं. परिंदे खुद ब खुद उड़ना उड़ाना सीख जाते हैं. और जो लोग सिर्फ न्याय के लिए जीते हैं वो तूफानों में भी दिया जलाना सीख जाते हैं. और ऐसे ही कुछ लोग आज अपने शुभ कर कमलों से यहाँ पे दीप प्रज्वलन कर रहे हैं. एंड डेफिनेटली विद द यूनाइटेड एफर्ट्स ऑफ बार एंड बेंच वी कैन सी दिस सीन इन इंडिया दैट ले मशाले चल पड़े हैं लोग मेरे गांव के, अब अंधेरा जीत लेंगे लोग मेरे गांव.
I would now request Shri Manan Kumar Mishra, Chairman Bar Council of India, to deliver the welcome address.
Sir, before I start, this huge gathering which has come to grace this occasion, Justice धनंजय चंचूड़ साहब का रुतबा देख लीजिए. Honorable Mr. Justice D.Y. Chandrachud, the Chief Justice of India, Honorable Mr. Kiran Rijiju, the Union Law Minister of the country, Honorable Mr. Justice M.M. Sundaresh, Judge Supreme Court of India, Honorable Mr. Justice S.C. Sharma, Chief Justice Delhi High Court, Honorable Mr. Justice Rajendra Menon, former Chief Justice of Patna High Court, Chairman Armed Force Tribunal, Mr. R. Venkat Ramani, the Honorable Attorney General for India, the office bearers and members of different bar councils, High Court and other bar associations, the office bearers and members of Supreme Court bar associations. We have, fortunately, before us Mrs. Chandrachud also, and the family members, the elders, the youngers. A very good evening, pranam and namaskar to all of you. Friends, on behalf of the entire legal fraternity of 23 lakhs of lawyers of the country, I welcome you all in the premises of Bar Council of India. Today, we are felicitating a very, very popular and dynamic judge who is known to be an asset not only for our Indian judiciary, but for the judicial system of the entire world. Mr. D.Y.Chandrachud was born in the prominent Chandrachud family on 11th November 1959. His father, Mr. Jaswant Vishnu Chandrachud, has been the longest serving Chief Justice in the history of the country. His mother, Prabha, was a classical musician. After attending the Cathedral and John Cannon School, Mumbai, and St. Columba's School, Delhi, Honorable Mr. Justice Chandrachud graduated with honors in economics and mathematics from Stephens College, Delhi in 1979. He was topper of the university. He then obtained a LLB degree from the Campus Law Center at University of Delhi in 1982, followed by a LLM degree from Harvard University Law School in 1983. He studied on the prestigious Inlake Scholarship offered to Indian citizens pursuing graduate education abroad and received the Joseph H. Burl Prize at Harvard. He stayed at Harvard to complete a doctoral degree of juridical sciences, which he finished in 1986. His doctoral dissertation was on affirmative action and considered the law in a comparative framework. After graduating from Harvard, Justice Chandrachud first worked at the law firm Sullivan and Hon'ble. Upon returning to India, he practiced law at Supreme Court of India and Bombay High Court. He was designated as a senior advocate by Bombay High Court in June 1998. He was appointed Additional Solicitor General of India. He became a judge of Bombay High Court in March 2000. He was Chief Justice of Allahabad High Court from October 2013. And he was a very popular Chief Justice of Allahabad High Court. The Allahabad and Lucknow bar, this will be proved today. The Allahabad and Lucknow bar is still his fan. He was elevated to Supreme Court in May 2016 and was sworn in as the Chief Justice of India on November 9, 2022. Apart from his judicial service, Chandrachud was also a visiting professor of comparative constitutional law at the University of Mumbai and University of Oklahoma in the United States. He has lectured at the Australian National University, Deakin University, Melbourne Law School, Harvard Law School, Yale Law School, the William R. Richardson School of Law at University of Hawaii, and the University of Witwatersrand in South Africa. His notable judgments are, during this last 6-year tenure as the Supreme Court judge, he has delivered several landmark judgments on Indian constitutional laws, human rights, gender justice, public interest litigation, commercial and criminal laws. With regard to privacy, in Justice K.S. Puttaswamy, which is a 9-judges bench decision, Justice Chandrachud affirmed that the right to privacy is a constitutionally guaranteed right. His Lordship stated, dignity cannot exist without privacy. Sexual orientation is an essential attribute of privacy. The above observations subsequently played a role in judgment of Supreme Court declaring Section 377 of the IPC unconstitutional. Regarding the right of freedom of speech, in IC Private Limited versus State of West Bengal, Justice Chandrachud authored a judgment and held, free speech cannot be gagged for fear of mob. In yet another judgment, Justice Chandrachud upheld the freedom of speech and expression in media and reporting court proceedings. In the suo motu writ petition dealing with the management of COVID-19 pandemic, Justice Chandrachud criticized certain state governments for clamping down on free speech of citizens when they sought help for resources online. Justice Chandrachud authored the revolutionary judgment through which bail was granted to Arnab Goswami, the editor-in-chief of Republic TV, who had been arrested by the Mumbai police in connection with a suicide case of an individual and his mother, who claimed that Goswami had not paid his money, which was owed for certain contract work. Underscoring the importance of bail, sir, you have said, I quote, more than 4 decades ago, in a celebrated judgment in the state of Rajasthan, Jaipur versus Balchand, Justice Krishna Iyer pithily reminded us that basic rule of our criminal justice is bail and not jail. The high courts and the courts in the district judiciary of India must enforce this principle in practice and not forego that duty living Supreme Court to intervene in all such matters. Our district judiciary is wrongly referred to as the subordinate judiciary. It may be subordinate in hierarchy, but it is not subordinate in terms of its importance in the lives of citizens or in terms of duty to render justice to them. Justice Chandrachud observed that the right of personal liberty and the grant of bail is recognition of presumption of innocence where a trial is yet to take place. Justice Chandrachud has delivered important judgment on gender justice. In Indian Young Lawyers Association case, you authored, sir, that the practice of prohibiting women from entering in Sabarimala temple was discriminatory and violated the fundamental rights of the women. Your judgments on adultery, consideration of employment of women in army and navy are really historic. In Babita Punya, you have directed the government to consider all women officers on an equal basis with their male counterparts. And your judgment was reported internationally as a landmark verdict ending gender bias. At the International Judicial Conference hosted by India on the judiciary and the changing world, which was attended by Chief Justices and judges from 23 countries, the President of India welcomed your judgment and commended it for its progressive social transformation. In a case of senior female officer of Punjab and Sindh Bank, a female officer was transferred from Indore to Jabalpur because she had complained about irregularities and corruption. You held, sir, sexual harassment at the workplace is an affront to the fundamental rights of women to equality under Article 14 and 15 and her right to live with dignity under Article 21 of the Constitution of India, as well as her right of practice any profession to carry on any occupation, trade or business is fundamental. and Justice Chandrachud directed the bank to send the women officer back to Indore again. Sir, several of your dissents are also notable. This is really surprising. In Aadhaar judgment, the Supreme Court upheld the constitutional validity of the act relating to Aadhaar by ratio of 4:1, with Justice Chandrachud's sole dissent. Sir, your dissent came to be called the dissent for age. You pointed out numerous deficiencies in the proposed system of Aadhaar and struck down the act in its entirety as constituting a fraud on Constitution. But what happened after that? Your dissent received worldwide appreciation and academic analysis, and has even led to some scholars to write that the dissent ranks alongside the great dissents in the history of the Indian Supreme Court. Lead commentators and experts labeled the dissent as starring dissent, fiery dissent, historic dissent, stinging dissent, and lone yet powerful dissent. Justice C.J. Sky, the Jamaican Chief Justice, Skies relied on your dissent and observed, I quote, "In my respectful view, the judgment of Justice Chandrachud demonstrated a greater sensitivity to the issue of privacy and freedom that is not as evident in the judgment of majority of other judges. His Lordship had a clear-eyed view of the dangers of the state or anyone having control over one's personal information and generality." Sir, you are right in saying that during your tenure as the Chief Justice, challenges are high and expectations are great. Finding out deserving judges is yet another challenge before you. But we are sure that both our young dynamic, the guest on the dais, will do the needful to expedite the process of appointments at all levels. The Bar Council of India has constituted a very high-level committee, namely Bharatiya Bhasha Samiti of Bar Council of India. This is headed by a former Chief Justice of India. The high-level committee also consists of Chairman UGC and several other academicians and scholars. Sir, our Honorable Kiran Rijiju ji has also assured us to support and participate in the meetings of that committee. As per the new education policy, the BCI has planned to take all necessary steps for application of regional languages in all courts, including Supreme Court, so that the litigants could understand what their lawyers are arguing, what are the queries of the honorable judges, what is the result of their case. The regional language is the best method of communication. India, that is Bharat, and its legal and judicial system cannot afford to carry on with the English for all times to come. Sir, the Indian Bar fully appreciates your recent statement that only speaking good English does not make a good lawyer. But what is happening in Supreme Court today is well known to you and all. Only a handful of lawyers are ruling the Supreme Court. Our dynamic law minister always highlights this aspect in his speech. Our Honorable Prime Minister also is very keen on making use of regional languages in court proceedings. Fortunately, in the summit of Hindustan Times, Justice Chandrachud has also advocated for making the judgments available in languages other than English. In the same summit, Justice Chandrachud said that social media platforms were posing one of the biggest challenges for judges, and that is why they must refashion and re-engineer themselves in the technical age. Sir, the development and introduction of the technology in legal and judicial systems are welcome steps. And we cannot think to develop our profession and the judicial system without this. Therefore, the bar is not opposed to it. But the real problem, which you also realize very well, is the lack of infrastructure and lack of proper training to the majority of lawyers. The bar councils or the bar associations have no resources to provide the devices like laptops, their smartphones, Wi-Fi, or even the training to each and every lawyer of the country. We welcome Honorable Mr. Justice P.S. Narasimha, Judge, Supreme Court of India, on this occasion.
I'm so sorry.
Apurva. Sir, the problem is that neither the NALSA nor any other organization take bar into confidence in policy matters, which is relating to technology. We are never taken into confidence. We cannot expect the effective use and the implementation of technology unless the members of the bar are also fully acquainted with at least the basic know-how of the systems and the technology. If this real problem is not addressed properly, the majority of lawyers coming from rural and poor background shall be compelled to leave the profession. The problem is being faced by advocates right from Supreme Court to the Taluka courts. Sir, the Bar Council of India is going to make the computer education compulsory for all law students from the academic year 2023 to 2024. But our two dignitaries on the dais are requested to think about making the necessary infrastructure and the training facility available to all the needy lawyers. Again saying, NALSA will have to do it, taking the state bar councils and the bar associations of the country into confidence. Sir, your views with regard to the use of artificial technology and the likely grave danger that artificial intelligence can have has largely been appreciated by the legal fraternity. We have appreciated it too much. Artificial intelligence can be given the human brain to some extent, but it cannot be given the heart and the soul of a human brain to any system or any device. Sir, in decision-making process, apart from his brain, apart from his mind, a judge is also required to apply his heart and soul. Therefore, technology is all right, but younger generations should not be made to behave like robots. It would be very dangerous for the future of the society. Sir, as the chairperson of the E-Committee, you have done a lot, and you are right in saying that the physical infrastructure has to be strengthened in all courts across the country to optimize functioning of courts and make them more accessible and litigant friendly, including for those with disabilities. Sir, you know there is acute dearth of sitting space and infrastructure in most of the district and taluka places, even most of the high courts. Justice Chandrachud is the head of the entire country's judiciary. He is not only the head of the Supreme Court. He is heading the judiciary of the entire country. And the Supreme Court belongs to the entire India, not only to Delhi. Sir, in Bihar, Uttar Pradesh, Jharkhand, Odisha, and most of the states, the condition of the lawyers are worst. Since you come from lawyers' family, you are a practical man. Therefore, we are daring to place all these ground realities before your lordship. You know, the Bar Council of India is a statutory body of lawyers, representing about 23 lakh advocates of the country. It has to discharge a number of functions relating to the legal profession and legal education under the statute. Sir, we need some big and magnificent auditorium for holding national and international conferences, seminars, moot courts, and functions. Sir, just see the position. Hundreds are waiting and watching through this, the YouTube, our function today, sir. We have acute dearth of space. Bar Council of India frequently holds training programs for young lawyers. The law lectures, computer training programs for lawyers of the country is another challenging job before the Bar Council of India. With the development of technology, other functions are also there. The statutory function of conducting disciplinary proceedings are hampered badly because of paucity of a space. We need 4 or 5 courtrooms for holding the meetings of DC. Near the Supreme Court in Delhi, we don't have even one courtroom today. The 3 small chambers allotted to Bar Council of India and its trust in the new building of Supreme Court chamber is too small to cater the needs of 23 lakh lawyers of the country. The lawyers from all parts of the country come for their works in Bar Council of India and Supreme Court daily. The office bearers and members of High Court bars coming to Supreme Court have no proper space or building to sit. Moreover, the lawyers practicing in Supreme Court are enrolled with different state bar councils. We have a plan to make their problems easy and to establish an office especially for Supreme Court lawyers near the Supreme Court building in order to enable them to coordinate with different state bar councils so that they could get the benefits of welfare schemes of their respective state bar councils and the Bar Council of India. Therefore, we have requested our Honorable Chief Justice of India to allot vacant space of 1.33 acres of land nearby Supreme Court and petrol pump so that it could be utilized by 23 lakh lawyers of the country. Sir, we are also to protect the interest of advocates practicing in Supreme Court of India along with the entire legal fraternity. Bar Council of India will make and will take care of needs of Supreme Court lawyers also if this space is allotted to it. Sir, you have advised the young generation to always take out time for themselves because the legal profession is unsparing at its worst. A good hobby will motivate them and energize them for their day-to-day work. The bar was glad to note your comments for involvement of advocates in the process of arbitration few months back. Sir, soon after taking oath, you made a statement to the media that it's a great opportunity and great responsibility. I'll strive to keep up the faith of people in the judiciary through my action, not only by my words, but with my work. I'll give confidence to the people. To serve the common man is my priority as Chief Justice of India. I am looking forward to taking care of all the concerns of the citizen, whether it be by bringing technology or the reforms required in the registry of Supreme Court or judicial reforms. We will work for the benefit of each citizen. This you stated. We appreciate your vision and your zeal. Sir, we are thankful to you for your promise to make all the courtrooms in Supreme Court no stress courts and your assurance for the young lawyers to get patient and adequate hearing from all the judges, not only by the Chief Justice of India. The Bar Council of India has always stood for strengthening the judiciary, and we are sure that you will feel the importance of involvement of leaders of the bar also in the process of selection of judges. Your plan to elevate the lawyers of different parts of the country, those lawyers who are enrolled with the various state bar councils but practicing in Supreme Court also to different high courts is a very welcome step. Bar Council of India fully appreciates and supports your view. Sir, the NLS Goa, the NLS Bangalore is the brainchild of Bar Council of India. It was established by BCI Trust from its own fund, and only then the state government provided the land and other infrastructure. The Bar Council of India, through its trust, has now established, as you know, the India International University of Legal Education and Research at Goa to take legal education to next level. The academic session is set to begin from next month. Our Honorable Chief Justice of India is the visitor. Honorable Mr. Justice B.R. Gawai, Honorable Mr. Justice Suraj Kant, and several sitting and former judges, including former Honorable Chief Justice of India, are there in the managing bodies of the trust and university. The Chancellor, our Chancellor, is also present on the dais. The Chancellor, Honorable Mr. Justice P.S. Narasimha, is taking keen interest in making this institution a truly international university. Honorable Mr. Kiran Rijiju ji is also a trustee of Bar Council of India Trust. The university needs, sir, your guidance and blessing for its proper growth. My Lord, Mr. Justice Chandrachud Sahab, we wish you all success. Bar will always be with you. Bar Council of India has always stood for the institution, and it will continue to stand for strengthening the institution. The Indian Bar has also been supporting all the good decisions of our government. Fortunately, the country has got a very dynamic law minister, a very practical man today. पता नहीं क्यों कॉलेजियम के इशू पर थोड़ी खिचखिच हो गई, लेकिन दो नौजवान, the two young dignitaries sitting on the dais, मैं अपने को युवा नहीं कहता हूं, I never say that I am also young. We are sure the Indian Bar is sure that whatever little problems are there, it will be solved easily. Both are very dynamic, very practical fellows. Sir, आप स्वस्थ रहें, दीर्घायु हो, एक सक्सेसफुल टेन्योर हो आपका. हिंदुस्तान के 23 लाख लोगों की, वकीलों की यही शुभकामना आपके साथ है. एक बात लास्ट में, when bar is strong, our democracy as nation is safe. Our judiciary is also safe. नमस्कार, जय हिंद, प्रणाम to all of you. सुप्रीम कोर्ट के वो खड़े हैं, अफसर हैं, उनको बुलवा के जगह दीजिए.
The staff Bar Council of India is requested to make a seat available to an official from the senior official from the Supreme Court. Please, staff Bar Council of India. You please come here. Please come on the dais, sir. Please. And now presentation of bouquets to the Honorable Chief Justice of India by representatives from different bar councils of the country. We will start from the host State Bar Council of Delhi, and then we'll go on to all state bar councils alphabetically. Mr. Murari Tiwari, please come with your team. Members Bar Council of Delhi, I will accompany them. There is adequate arrangement of photographers. Please ensure there is no mobile photography, no selfie. Supreme Court Bar Association, our office bearers from Supreme Court Bar Association. Mr. Rahul Kaushik, please come with your team. Mr. Rahul Kaushik, Secretary, Supreme Court Bar Association. Please come fast.
Ask him to next to stand here.
And next, Andhra, please be ready. Andhra Pradesh. Mr. Rami Reddy, please be ready with your team. Rami Reddy ji. Mr. Ramarao Ghanta, Chairman. Sanjay Rathi ji, please come. And after Andhra Pradesh, Assam, please come forward. Assam, Apurva Kumar Sharma ji, please lead your team. Andhra Pradesh. Please move fast. Please move fast. Please don't take much time. What are they doing? Please don't take too much of time with the Honorable Chief Justice. Please move fast. No mobile photography, please. No mobile photography, please. We have made adequate arrangement of photographers. Please. Please, you can go to your seat. No selfie, no mobile photography, please. We have already made a request. This is a security direction. Prabhakaran ji, please make them move fast, please. Please make them move fast. Rami Reddy ji, Mr. Rami Reddy, please move forward.
क्या है प्रभाकरण मिस्टर प्रभाकरण गो फर्स्ट जल्दी बोल बोला this time बन गया जी सर कंप्लीट जितना इसमें नमकी केन छे
Apurva Kumar Sharma ji, please lead your delegation from Assam and Northeast states. And after this, the delegation from Bihar, please be ready. You can wait here, please. You can wait here in the well.
Sir.
निकलिए. No mobile photography, please. Please move out. Go to your seat, please.
आइए सर आइए.
No, gentlemen, have you not heard it? There is a security direction, no mobile photography. The delegation from Bihar consists of members, State Bar Council, as well as office bearers of the High Court Bar Association, Patna. श्रीमान जी, प्लीज ये मोबाइल से फोटो ना लें.
चीज नहीं चलेगा.
नहीं मानेगा तो मत मानिए. आप मानिए चाहे मत मानिए.
मान लिए सीट हम लोग को देना आपको
Please. And please don't stand in the middle passage. Please take your seats, or you can go on the right or left. Please don't stand in the middle passage. छत्तीसगढ़. हाँ, हाँ, गुजरात का जब आएगा जब. गायत्री पुरी, member executive, Delhi High Court Bar Association. Welcome, ma'am.
Next bar association. Next, I mean,
Chhattisgarh, Mr. Vikhyat Arora. Mr. Shailendra Dubey, please. With Vikhyat Arora. And then Gujarat. Please be ready. Mr. Dalip Patel. Mr. Prithviraj Singh Jadeja. Mr. Hardik Brahmbhatt.
आइए विख्यात जी आइए.
And from Himachal, please be ready. Mr. Ajay Kumar Sharma, Chairman. Mr. Patel ji, please go.
आपने मना किया ना
अरे हो जाएगा. And from Jharkhand, Mr. Prashant Kumar Singh, please be ready. Mr. Rajendra Krishna, Chairman, State Bar Council, Jharkhand. Mr. Rajesh Kumar Shukla, Abhay Kumar Chaturvedi, Amar Kumar Singh, Mr. Anil Kumar Mehato, Baleshwar Prasad Singh, Mrityunjay Kumar Shrivastava. Please move ahead. Mr. Parmeshwar Mandal, Mr. Radhesham Goswami, Rinku Bhagat, Sanjay Kumar Vidrohi, Ritu Kumar, Naveen Kumar. Please move forward. And after Jharkhand, Karnataka. May I request you to please don't stand in the middle passage. Please vacate the middle passage. Karnataka, be ready. Mr. Sadashiv Reddy. झारखंड चल हिमाचल चलिए. अब चलिए.
सर नमस्ते. हमारे अमित को आपने बहुत छोड़ दिया.
हाँ, वो काम में लगे हैं, सेवा कर रहे हैं. Mr. Sadashiv Reddy, please lead your delegation from Karnataka. Mr. P. Wilson, Member Parliament, Rajya Sabha. Hearty welcome, sir. Mr. Wilson will felicitate the Honorable Chief Justice. P. Wilson from Tamil Nadu. Yes. And after Karnataka, Kerala, Mr. Manoj Kumar. Done. Pratap Mehta ji, please be ready. Madhya Pradesh. Madhya Pradesh. Pratap Mehta ji.
अनाउंस तो कर दो पूरा।
नरेंद्र कुमार जैन जी, राधेलाल गुप्ता जी, संजय वर्मा जी. Yes, please move forward. प्रताप मेहता जी, सूरज शर्मा जी, रेवत सिंह, संदीप मेहता, शैलेंद्र शर्मा, विजय लोढ़ा, आकाश लोढ़ा. महाराष्ट्र बी रेडी. मिस्टर जैन जय भावे जी. Mr. Jain Jabave, team from Maharashtra, our delegates from Maharashtra.
Manipur. They're Odisha. Maharashtra.
Maharashtra is going. Manipur. After Maharashtra, Manipur, be ready.
Maharashtra, Mr. Anil Singh, Additional Solicitor General of Maharashtra.
Mr. Anil Singh, Additional Solicitor General, Government of India. He is a successor of Hon'ble CJI, Mr. Anil Singh. Hon'ble CJI also used to be Additional Solicitor General of India. Maharashtra, please come. Please move forward. Pratap Mehta ji, please. Yes, move forward. And don't let this mobile.
सर महाराष्ट्र.
क्या आहे तुमच्यासाठी? दो जने और रहेगा तो हमको दे देगा. Belongs to Maharashtra.
Yes, that is why such a large delegation. And Manipur, be ready. Our delegates from Manipur. Done. Odisha, Mr. Devi Prasad Dhal. with Manas Mahapatra, Mr. Anil Parida. नाम क्या है?
अनिल परिडा, मानस महापात्र, गौतम।
एक दुपट्टा मंगाना, एक लाख में बचा, एक लाख
And once you have done the felicitation, please occupy your seat. The seats are lying vacant. Please don't stand in the middle passage. Please take your seats. After presenting your bouquets, please occupy your seats.
सर वो उत्तराखंड उत्तर प्रदेश से पहले आता है, अब आप भरने का बाद में यार अब इतना पहले कर, 4 ही लोग हैं, उन्हें पहले कर देना। 4 लोग हैं बस, यूके यूपी देखिए पहले है। चलो प्लीज प्लीज सर। और मेरा नाम DK शर्मा, यूके 4 लोग हैं, फिर वो तो 50 है। पर ये लोग गलत आइंदा से इसको करें ना, यूके और यूपी। अच्छा चलो कोई बात।
Mr. Suresh Chand Shrimali.
सर पहले पंजाब आएगा,
Punjab. Yes, just wait. Punjab and Haryana. Now before Rajasthan, Punjab and Haryana. Yes, sir. Shri Surendra Desai, Senior Advocate, former President, Goa High Court Bar Association. We welcome you, sir. He has come all the way from Goa to felicitate the Honorable Chief Justice of India, Shri Surendra Desai ji. Please. Please move forward, please. After Punjab, Rajasthan.
एक सेकंड इनको आगे आना, आप आगे आइए।
Slowly.
आप आइए।
No more.
राजस्थान
शांति। शांति से यार। हाँ, दिस इज राजस्थान। आफ्टर राजस्थान, तमिलनाडु। Please move fast.
Shubham, myself from Rajasthan High Court Executive Member, PM Chopra.
Mr. PM Chopra from Rajasthan High Court Bar Association.
सर राजस्थान ही है सर, एक बार आ जाना राजस्थान की
Please take your seats. Please don't stand in the well. Please go and take your seats. Please take your seats. Those who are done with felicitation, please go to your seats.
You are from?
बेटा
चलो चलो जल्दी करो।
No, they are already there. Tamil Nadu.
Tamil Nadu has come before you.
Tamil Nadu, be ready, please.
Associations and member bar councils, everybody.
Members Bar Council Tamil Nadu and High Court Bar Association representatives, please come. Please all come together.
After Tamil Nadu, Telangana, under the Vishnuvardhan Reddy, start names. You will read, no?
I will read.
Please, please.
You stand here.
Telangana. Then UP.
Uttarakhand.
Yeah, how are you, sir? No, please come.
Telangana can wait here.
Telangana, Mr. Vishnu.
Yes, yes. Mr.
Ah, this is the. Wait. Let it be. Let Tamil Nadu.
Tamil Nadu. Yes.
Tamil Nadu. It's a Airbus.
Sir, namaste, sir. He's busy.
Either. Don't come from here, please.
Hello, sir. Thank you.
It's for me. Sister,
Prabhakaran ji, please make your members move fast. Prabhakaran ji.
Tamil Nadu is always a big force.
After Bihar, Tamil Nadu is the largest delegation, 22.
Please take these two. And President Bar Association, V. Raghunath. After that, you first read in this name. Sunil Godle.
This one on.
Sunil Godle, please, Vice Chairman. And President Bar Association, High Court.
What is his name?
V. Raghunath.
It is there.
It's already over. Next.
We already called all the names. We have called all. President Madras Bar Association, we welcome you, sir.
Yes, thank you, sir.
Now Telangana, be ready. Mr. Vishnu Vardhan Reddy. Mr. Sunil Gaur, Vice Chairman, Telangana State Bar Council. Mr. Raghunath V, High Court Bar Association, President, Honorable President, High Court Bar Association. Mr. Rajendra M, Mr. Zakir Hussain Javed, Ananta Sen Reddy, Mr. Satyanarayana Kohli, Mr. Konna Reddy, Mr. Kiran Palakurthi, Mr. B. Jayakar, please, you can go ahead. Mr. M.A.K. Mukhid, Mr. Bhujanga Rao, Mr. Venkat Yadav, Mr. Hanumant Reddy, Mr. Fanindra Bhargav, Mr. Jitendra Reddy, Mr. Rama Rao, Mr. Malla Reddy, Mr. Narendra Jelly, Mr. Pasham Krishna Reddy, Telangana.
हमारा तेलुगु नामा पूरे बदल जा रहे हैं
हमारा नॉर्थ वाले तो यू हैव
Go there, that side. Let them come. They are all standing. Ask them to move. And ask them to don't sit.
No, you before UP Uttarakhand, please wait. And we have Tripura is done. Tripura. Any delegates from Tripura? Mr. Prashant Singh Atal, Member Bar Council of UP, Co-Chairman Bar Council of UP.
यूपी बोल दे पूरा यूपी बोल दीजिए
उत्तराखंड पहले
यूपी बोल दिया
अरे वो बोल रहे हैं नहीं
कॉल करके वहाँ गए लोग
देवेंद्र कुमार शर्मा जी उत्तराखंड 4 लोग हैं वहाँ देवेंद्र मिस्टर D.K. शर्मा उत्तराखंड प्लीज द डेलीगेट्स फ्रॉम उत्तराखंड
लांबा साहब हमारे चेयरमैन
मिस्टर लांबा साहब यस सर मिस्टर M.M. लांबा उत्तराखंड प्लीज कम मुनफैत अली राव मिस्टर सुरेंद्र पुंडीर रंजन सोलंकी राकेश गुप्ता अर्जुन सिंह भंडारी NS कन्याल अनिल पंडित मिस्टर कुलदीप कुमार आराम से यार शोर नहीं
उत्तर प्रदेश को भी बना दीजिए
उत्तराखंड के बाद नहीं नहीं यहाँ से नहीं अच्छा नहीं लगेगा अच्छा नहीं लगेगा
आगे आगे
चलिए सर आप
you will come Calcutta High Court your name is not there UP के बाद और कहाँ है give me your card card Yes, from West Bengal, Mr. Biswa Bharat Basu Malik, Mr. Jyoti Banerjee, Mr. Madhusudan. Now UP be ready.
हाँ यूपी बुलाइए
Madhusudan Tripathi ji, Mr. Madhusudan Tripathi, Srinath Tripathi ji, please lead your delegation. Mr. Srinath Tripathi from UP. members Bar Council of UP, office bearers, Allahabad High Court Bar Association. Mr. Radhakant Oja, President, Allahabad High Court Bar Association. Mr. Jainarayan Pandey, Hari Shankar Singh, Panchuram Maurya, Arun Kumar Tripathi, Ajay Kumar Shukla, Devendra Mishra Nagarat, Mr. Agilesh Kumar Avasti, Pradeep Kumar Singh, Shirish Kumar, मेरा थोड़ा यार बोलिए please. Jainarayan Pandey जी, Vice Chairman.
जल्दी जल्दी एकदम बहुत
राकेश चौधरी तो रहेगा ही साहब, इसको चलने दो, अब नहीं कुछ कर सकते आप. Mr. Shirish Kumar Mehrotra, please move fast.
Last है.
फोटो तो ठीक हो जाएगा.
Mr. Mohit Dwivedi, Mr. Sai Girdhar, को बुलाएंगे. ये क्या है? Please, no mobile photography. Please take your seats. Take your seats. पटेल जी, ये मानते नहीं है लोग. यूपी के बाद खत्म ना, हो गया. अरे उसको बुलाना, नलिन को. त्रिपुरा, ओके. Delegation from Tripura, please come forward. Complete.
हाँ सर, यहाँ से और ये लास्ट देसाई जी, उनका पूरा नाम जय बाबा जी से पूछना. मिस्टर देसाई अपने से आकर चले गए हैं.
अपने सब आ गए मेंबर से. रह तो नहीं गया. इनका नाम पूछ लो, पता लग जाएगा. मिसिस चंद्रचूड़ का नाम पूछ लो.
After all, Plan Foundation is the safeguard to Plan Foundation Association of National Biodiversity. They will come and four people are waiting.
You just write their name.
ये उत्तराखंड के MM लामा चेयरमैन, मुनफत अली वाइस चेयरमैन, CS तिवारी मेंबर एज ए चेयरमैन. ये चारों बोलना, ये मेरे हाथ में है. जरूर बोलना.
Mr. MM Lamba, Chairman Uttarakhand State Bar Council, Rao Munfat Ali, Mr. CS Tiwari, Mr. YS Tomar.
यूपी से देवेंद्र मिश्र लग रहा है।
Devendra Mishra. Mr. Devendra Mishra from UP. Please come.
दिया नहीं, मोबाइल नहीं दिया।
वो तो हुआ है इस तरह ठीक है ऐसे बोल रहे
आइए लीजिए, ये वाइफ है पक्का। चलो चलो,
उन्हीं से पूछा है अभी। नहीं दास उनकी वाइफ 100।
Please take your seats. And from CAN Foundation, alumni of National University, we have Mr. Siddharth Gupta, Mr. Shriram Pakad, and Ms. Bhavna Chandok. Please come forward. CAN Foundation. अंजुल को वहीं बैठा दो।
सॉल दूं या
शॉल दे दो। Please take your seats.
अटॉर्नी जनरल सॉल्व देना चाहते हैं, चीफ जस्टिस को बोल दीजिएगा।
बाद में करा देंगे।
एक सेकंड, अब बंद हो गया ना? अंजुल, please present a bouquet and shawl to Mrs. Chandrachud. श्रीमती कल्पना, हाँ।
अटॉर्नी जनरल को क्या है सॉल्व मैडम को ही देंगे। अटॉर्नी जनरल कह रहे हैं कल्पना मैम को सॉल्व देंगे।
अभी तो वेंकट रमनी साहब को हम लोग पहले कर लेते हैं।
मैडम को ही देंगे।
ओके। Mr. R. Venkatramani, Honorable Attorney General of India. He wants to present a shawl and bouquet to Mrs. Kalpana Das. Madam Chandrachud. Mr. Sumant Chitle, All India reporter, please come. Now starting our program.
सब लोग को जगह ले लीजिए।
Please take your seats. Please take your seats. I would request Mr. S. Prabhakaran, Vice Chairman, Bar Council of India, to address the gathering.
My Lord, the Honorable Chief Justice of India, Dr. D.Y.Chandrachud, the Honorable Minister Kiran Rijiju, the Honorable Justice M.M. Sundaresh, Honorable Justice P.S. Narasimha, Honorable Justice D.Y.Chandrachud, Honorable former Justice and Patna High Court Mr. Rajendra Menon, the respected person Mr. R. Venkatramani, Attorney General of India, and Madam Chandrachud, my esteemed friend Mr. Manan Kumar Misra. I start by quoting the words of celebrated the British poet William Wordsworth. The best portion of a good man's life is little, nameless, unremembered acts of kindness and love. This quote by itself is a tailor made for his lordship. My lord is not the usual judge who we witness adorning the bench of the Honorable Supreme Court of India. His lordship's little acts of kindness, his love and affection towards the members of the bar can be witnessed in his small acts while his lordships adorn the courtroom and in his courtroom's exchanges. Whenever a lawyer appears before his lordships, the court for the first time, I could surely say that any lawyer will be mesmerized and astonished by his lordship's the humility and sense of humor. All the members of the bar will accept this unison. Friends, with a due respect, we have to join all you in welcoming and felicitating the Honorable Chief Justice of India, because world vision is already legendary. In education and career, he has already combined words as a different Mumbai, Delhi, and the US, and his knowledge is so vast, as the occasions has crossed attend courses, meetings, discussions, lectures, and on other officials and personal visits. Sir, this great nation, which has had a fortune as having a long list of the great juries, has a great expectations on you also. We wish you the best to join that whole fame, which includes your father, the great, the Honorable Justice Y.V. Chandrachud legacy also. My Lord, your educations, practice, elevation as a young age, your approach as to the legal fraternity, and the common man looking at the judiciary in awe, your disposal rate, your commitment to modernize and computerize the judiciary to achieve your higher disposal, the rate without compromising on quality, and your visions as spoken through your judgments are all not new to any dignitaries assembled here. They are all too well known. In a short space and great honor given to me, offer felicitation to your lordships. I would like to highlight a couple of important things which your lordships would ponder over whenever the time permits. My lord, I earnestly call upon you to ensure there is a due diversity of representation of judges hailing from the varied society as well as the geographical background. Diversity brings forth the balance, and it's ensure very litigant gets the opportunity to put forth his case before the benches, which would have the empathy, filling the vacancies in the Honorable High Courts as well as the Honorable Supreme Court. Keeping this diversity factor in mind will go a long way in elevating the Indian judiciary to still highest level. My Lord, creation of a regional benches and another long pending expectations from the bar, for which we hope there will be a positive development during the esteemed tenure. My Lord, announcing the respective regional languages as the official languages of the Honorable High Courts concerned is also a long pending demand of the different states. I request your lordships to bestow your wisdom to take a decision on that. My Lord, your young members, the bar do not have the institutionalized mechanism to be trained in a court craft and affidavit making. I request your lordships to create a national level the mechanism so that they will gain personality and their nations will gain collectively. My Lord, the legal services, the mechanism also needs to computerized and strengthened too. The young members of the bar also should get an opportunity be empaneled in the Legal Services Authority. My lords, the expectations of the members of the bar from the members to minimal. They wanted to passions, hearing and the equal opportunity for the young world. If all these kind words due consideration by your lordships, we the members of the bar shall remember the Chandrachud era with the gratitude for all decades to come. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Prabhakaran. Now I would request Honorable Shri R. Venkatramani, Attorney General of India. He will give a brief address.
I am delighted to witness a coronation ceremony today evening. A veritable coronation ceremony. And then, you know, in a coronation ceremony, not only the king is crowned, then follows other investiture of regalia. You saw all of that here today. The whole nation, the creamy layers of the Indian bar, and the whole nation with its cultural vibrance has made the function in the evening a matter of great, memorable part of my life. And probably, even if I had not been the Attorney General for India, I would have still welcomed Honorable Chief Justice in my own humble little way, probably by sitting somewhere there. But I am grateful that his office has given me the opportunity to talk from here. I have some very urgent engagement, but I thought I must be here as an ex officio part of the Bar Council of India. And I welcome each and every one of you here. We talked about, in US Supreme Court, the Warren era, the Berger era, and things like that. But I think every judge who adorns the Supreme Court is part of an era, a continuum, a legal continuum. And the legal continuum is made more grander by a very well-meaning coordination, participation, engagement of both the bar and the bench. And I'm sure Chief Justice Chandrachud will not be lagging behind in that very imaginative and creative way of navigating the Supreme Court in times to come. And as we are bridge between the state and the court, I'm sure I will have enough opportunities to be that very important bridge. And that bridge means you, me, and the court. Now, there are only 3 points I wish to make. I'm going to just flag them. Part of my learning from Professor Madhav Menon, it is time for us to understand that legal education can no longer remain as legal education. It must transform itself into justice education. The difference is very, very important. It means a paradigm shift from administration of justice in a way we have understood, borrowed from colonial era, and then movement into a future globalized dimensions of which many of us would not even be able to imagine today. So unless it becomes justice education and goes to the root of understanding human needs and human suffering and human wants in our own country, we have a vast country, a diverse country of diverse needs and demands and claims. So I think it's important for us to understand that justice education and not legal education. The second is the digital path of law. And the digital path of law means not only legal education, but administration of justice. So for the country to continue to remain an administration of justice in the physical space, I think would be backward looking. Let us not try to march forward by looking into the rear view mirror. The rear view mirror is important, but it's important up to a point. Therefore, we need to have mirrors all over around us. The digital path of law is something which the entire bar, the nation, must deeply engage its mind, and I'm sure we have all the wealth of the Indian bar, not less than any other part of the world comparably. I'm sure we'll be able to engage ourselves deeply and quickly and then be part of a great transformation of administrative justice in our country. Then the lawmaking process. Our institutions of lawmaking process, whether in parliament or otherwise, has so many issues which needs being addressed by government itself. And then we find a lot of reasons and occasions why courts have to engage themselves in what you call filling up the gaps and interstitial filling, etc., etc. So I think in the lawmaking process itself, the participation of the bar and how it can be facilitated, how it can be institutionalized is another question to be addressed. And finally, I think more than 1.7 million lawyers in our country, and probably about 15% of our women. How are we going to address the needs of women lawyers in being able to compete and being able to shine and becoming a vibrant part of the legal profession? I think we need lawyers training institutions in a more dynamic and radical way in every state, probably in every high court if possible. Let us look at some of these issues and concerns. And finally, as part of the E-Committee, the Supreme Court, I shared my what called maybe naive ideas. The Chief Justice will pick up and polish it a little more. That if you can think of a national judicial grid, which can have a seamless connectivity of legal information, which can be widely defined, number one, and a national legal platform, right from the Tehsil to the district to the High Court to the Supreme Court, a national legal platform where the bar councils would play a very important role. And with this, I think I decline to myself the pleasure of addressing you at great length, but I'm sure we'll have greater occasions in future, in a very near future. And I'm thankful for this evening, wonderful evening, and being part of this team of Supreme Court, which is endeavoring its best to carry this, what called living with the Constitution as a great part of our life. Let us live with the Constitution, make it move, and make it move energetically, that every person in our country can sit at home and say, my equal worth and regard are respected and realized. Jai Hind.
Thank you, sir. Venkat Ramani is also a member of Bar Council of India, ex-officio member Bar Council of India. We are proud of you, Attorney General, sir. And now I would request Honorable Justice M.M. Sundaresh, Judge Supreme Court of India, to address us.
Today is a very lucky day for me. I was just invited to be a spectator like all of you. Then after coming here, Sri Manan Kumar Mishra and Prabhakaran has asked me to adorn the dais. It is indeed a proud moment for me. Thank you very much. Today we are felicitating a superstar judge. I would like to define him in the names of Shakespeare. He said, his life is so gentle, elements so mixed in him, that nature would stand up and tell the world, this was the man, and this is the man. I do not wish to bore you with my long speech. All that I would say, repeat what my predecessor speakers said. It is said he has got an eternal youth, as is the case of the Honorable Law Minister. Youthfulness will not come as we think. It's a manifestation. A good heart will have a good face. You could see him smiling all the time, which I have witnessed. In my little interaction with him, especially in the morning when you go for a lounge to have a tea, one would see him smiling. And during the conversation, you will see him laugh loudly. This can be done, number one, if you are a good person. Number two, if you have an open heart. Number three, if you have a positive mind. Number four, you have people, good people around you. Number five, if you have a mind to help others. That is why we always give importance to the smile and laughter of a child. A good man will always have a laughter and smile of a child. He is one who is wearing it. I do believe that the institution will have a lot of expectations on him, and he would fulfill. The future generation would say, before Justice Dr. Chandrachud and after Justice Chandrachud as a Chief Justice. Because he believes in working for others. There will be a lot of opinions about him. Some might think, could it be on the left side? Others might think, could it be on the right side? But all that I can say, his path is a path of justice, nothing else. In that path goes to the past, if it stands, he would move on, undaunted and unhindered. Chief, I'll assure you, in all your endeavors, we will stay with you, we will work along with you. I wish you once again for a wonderful tenure. Thank you very much.
And now presentation of mementos and bouquets and shawls by members Bar Council of India to the Honorable Chief Justice of India and other honorable guests. Mr. Manan Kumar Mishra, Chairman Bar Council of India, will present a memento to Honorable Chief Justice of India. उसके बाद Friends, we are extremely delighted to have family members of Honorable Chief Justice of India with us today. Mrs. Urmila Das, she is mother of Mrs. Kalpana Das, Madam Chandrachud, Mrs. Neela Kulkarni, sister of Honorable Chief Justice of India, Mr. Dilip Kulkarni, brother-in-law, Ms. Chitra Das, sister of Ms. Kalpana Das, Ms. Mitra Das, Ms. Rebecca and Ms. Annie. Now I would request members Bar Council of India to present bouquets to all the family members of Honorable Chief Justice of India. You can go. Prashant, all.
शाल और बुके दिलवाइए लॉ मिनिस्टर को, और बाकी डिग्निटरीज ऑन डायस अभी दिलवा दीजिए।
Now I would request Mr. S. Prabhakaran to present a shawl and bouquet to the Honorable Law Minister of India, Shri Kiran Rijiju. Mr. S. Prabhakaran, please. I request on Attorney General of India, Shri R. Venkatramani, to present a bouquet to Honorable Chief Justice of India. Mr. Apurva Kumar Sharma ji will present a shawl to Honorable Justice M.M. Sundaresh. Shawl and bouquet. Mr. D.P. Dhal will present a shawl and bouquet to Honorable Justice P.S. Narasimha. Mr. Sadashiv Reddy को बोलो तैयार है। Mr. Y.R. Sadashiv Reddy to present a shawl and bouquet to Mr. R. Venkatramani, Honorable Attorney General of India.
Chief Justice is there, not there. Chief Justice.
Okay. Mr. Sadashiv Reddy will present a bouquet and shawl to Honorable Chief Justice Delhi High Court.
He's gone. He's gone. He's gone.
All right.
Tell my name.
Sadashiv Reddy. Sadashiv has come. Honorable Justice Satish Chandra Sharma, Chief Justice Delhi High Court. Mr. N. Manoj Kumar will present a shawl and bouquet to Honorable Justice Rajendra Menon, former Chief Justice Delhi High Court and Chairman Standing Committee Bar Council of India. नहीं है मनोज कुमार नहीं है मिस्टर प्रभाकरन प्लीज Mr. S. Prabhakaran to Mr. Justice Rajendra Menon, former Chief Justice Delhi High Court. Mr. A. Rami Reddy to Honorable Chief Justice of India. Mr. Suresh Chand Shirimali, please present a memento to Honorable Attorney General of India, please. Shirimali ji. Srinath Tripathi ji, please present a bouquet to Honorable Chief Justice of India. Pratap Mehta ji, to Honorable Justice P.S. Narasimha. S. Prabhakaran ji to Honorable Justice Sundaresh. Again. Justice Sundaresh.
What it should be?
Bouquet. शैलेंद्र दुबे जी, शैलेंद्र दुबे जी नहीं है। ऑनरेबल चीफ जस्टिस ऑफ इंडिया, चलने दो, इन सबको होने दो ना,
किसका?
हमारे मेंबर अभी नहीं हुए।
विष्णु विष्णु प्रशांत का।
प्रशांत कुमार सिंह, ऑनरेबल चीफ जस्टिस ऑफ इंडिया। दलीप पटेल, दलीप पटेल, ऑनरेबल लॉ मिनिस्टर ऑफ इंडिया। मिस्टर प्रताप सिंह, ऑनरेबल जस्टिस राजेंद्र मेनन, मिस्टर पी विष्णुवर्धन रेड्डी, ऑनरेबल जस्टिस सतीश चंद्र शर्मा, चीफ जस्टिस दिल्ली हाई कोर्ट, विष्णुवर्धन रेड्डी जी, मिस्टर डी के शर्मा, to Honorable Justice M.M. Sundar, Mr. D.K. Sharma, D.K. Sharma ji to Honorable Justice Sundaresh, Mr. Jayant Jai Bhave,
Anil Singh.
to Shri Anil Singh, Additional Solicitor General of India.
अनिल प्लीज कम। हो गया।
प्रशांत हो गया। चलो कभी रह गया पी विल्सन को दिला देते हैं।
पी विल्सन और सुरेंद्र देसाई।
Mr. Prashant Kumar Singh, please come and present a bouquet to Shri P. Wilson, Member Parliament Rajya Sabha.
Please come, sir. That will be good.
अनिल सिंह से इनको दिलवा दें CBI। अनिल सिंह से CBI को
हो गया। अब आपको
सिर्फ देसाई रह
सुरेंद्र देसाई जी को किसी से भी बुके दिले।
Mr. Rami Reddy, please come forward. Please present a bouquet to Shri Suren Desai, Senior Advocate and former President Goa High Court Bar Association. Now, friends, I have the honor to request Honorable Law Minister of India, Shri Kiran Rijiju, to address the gathering.
Honorable Chief Justice of India, Justice D.Y.Chandrachud, Madam Kalpana ji and the family members present here, Honorable Justice M.M. Sundaresh, Honorable Justice Narasimha, the Chief Justice of Delhi High Court, Honorable Justice S.C. Sharma, former Chief Justice of Delhi High Court and Chairman Armed Forces Tribunal, Justice Rajendra Menon, Manan Mishra ji, and his office bearers of the Bar Council of India, the representatives of different bar councils from states, ladies and gentlemen. today is one occasion where we all have gathered, not only to felicitate but to listen to Justice Chandrachud. I will find better occasion to speak, and I will also find out more appropriate forum to speak out my mind. But today, the dynamic and very infectious personality of Justice Chandrachud should do the talking. And we have heard some of the very appropriate remarks about Justice Chandrachud. In fact, I am least qualified to speak about him because I have come to know about him at a very, very late stage when he was already a judge in the Supreme Court, and also when he had become a senior judge. Of course, every judge in Supreme Court is equal to each other, but there is a person who heads the bench. So I've heard about his ideas, his thought in some occasion. But when I took over the position as Minister for Law and Justice, I tried to learn more about him. I had a very wonderful occasions to share many things, but what I found is he has a very unique character and personality which defines a person's overall personality in a very simple manner. He's not a complicated man. Very simple, and the way he thinks and the way he approaches are so much at ease for him and for everyone. I find so much comfort in talking to him before he assumed as the Chief Justice of our country. And now also, I really look forward to work very closely with him to ensure that the Indian judiciary will stand where it is expected to. There are many issues, some of the issues raised by Manan Misra ji. There are certain observations also made. I certainly have certain views, and I have taken note of those issues very closely. But if I respond to some of the points, it may take longer time. We are already past 7 o'clock, and we have to listen to the man, as our Attorney General had mentioned. It's a coronation of Justice Chandrachud, so we will listen to him. Before that, I just make a quick remark on 2-3 issues. What I have seen in recent time is the issues are becoming louder. Nobody is wrong, and especially everybody is right in their own position. But somebody is right if it runs into conflict with the other person's right, then there may be a situation of some kind of confrontation. There are norms which are being practiced for a long time and very well established conventions. And I am not a person who will talk about sudden change or sudden transformation. But as a law minister, if I don't speak out, I don't think changes can be brought in. And if I try to disrespect the institutions, then I don't think that is the right way of changing things in a positive manner. So everything will go with time. But when I saw the lawyers go for protest, I heard some informations that some lawyers are going for strike on some issues. And I could see in the days to come, these are some of the things which we may see more frequently. And we have to think and we have to decide whether this will be good for the institution or not. Everybody talks about strengthening the institution. If we don't respect the institution, it will amount to disrespecting yourself. So when there are things which are becoming too loud in terms of putting forward your demands, then it has a risk of taking a different turn. Sometimes I also feel I speak out certain things just out of my mind, but the response come in a way which is not appropriate of what I expected. Or maybe I fail to convey what should be conveyed. But you can't just go on explaining the things. Sometimes some of the high courts have its own unique problems. And then there are issues and which is not easy for anybody to just go and understand. You have to be there, you have to be with them and go through the whole emotional question is there. It's not easy to understand any issue just like that. But when there are issues, yesterday I heard that some lawyers, they want to meet Chief Justice of India for a transfer case. Now, the issue may be, if you look from isolation, it may be one of the issues. But if this becomes a recurring instances for every decision taken by the collegium or which is being supported by the government, then where will it lead to? Then the whole dimension will change. Everywhere, it's not about judiciary alone. The changes are so fast in today's world that it's very difficult to catch up with the changes. So it's a kind of a rush with the time. So that is why when I took over as the Minister for Law and Justice, I had certain experience in the beginning. And now as the time goes by, I'm getting more kind of a change in dynamism in such a short span of time, 1.5 years. Maybe those days it takes decades to change, but now it takes months to change, and change in perception as well as situation also. That is why we really need to work together. Now, Bar Council of India is a very important institution. I have stated in the past also, if we have to ensure that Indian judiciary remains very robust, then not only the courts, not only the judges, but the Bar Council of India and all the bar councils are to be strengthened. Because if individual starts asserting their opinion much more than the institution, then there is a danger. What I see is some of the views by individual lawyers takes prominence and it takes precedence over the opinion of the Bar Council of India. The stand on issues may have different kind of responses from individuals, but what should matter is the opinion of the institution. If we have to ensure that the judiciary is respected, the independence of judiciary is to be maintained, it is not only the conduct of the judges, but the conduct of the lawyers are also equally necessary and critical. So there is always this talk about bar and bench. Definitely, two sides of the same coin. So it has to be always together. I have been meeting many lawyers, bar associations, bar councils. I learn a lot. In a similar manner, I talk to the judges and I learn a lot from them also. Sometimes I feel that it's good for me or maybe good for the country that the law minister doesn't know law much. If I am part of the so-called lawyers community, then my outlook and my observation will be typical of a lawyer. If I say something which I definitely vouch for, and I stand for it, if I say something, that is the reflection of the common people of the country. Because I am not from the fraternity. So my observation are simply pick up the points and opinions from the masses, and I put it in a very simplest possible manner. So that is how I am, and I'll continue to be that. Many people think that I'm too young. Maybe I look young. So I tell people that if you know about my political journey, then you will have a second opinion. I have already fought 7 elections. So somebody who has fought 7 elections definitely is not very young. So, but they look at my date of birth, and I don't want to give any clarification about my date of birth. So let it be what is there in the records. I will not challenge the dates which are mentioned in the records, but certainly I feel that when somebody calls me a young-looking law minister, naturally, who doesn't want to be called young? But the greatest happiness what I received in the recent time is even the Chief Justice of India is looking very young. So that really compliments. And as a person from the administration, I definitely look forward to work with the Honorable Chief Justice, because Chief Justice of India is not only a judge, but he is the head of judiciary. He is the administrative head of Indian judiciary and the Supreme Court. So beyond the judicial work, we have many things to work together. And definitely I have seen if there is a proper coordination, cooperation, and working relationship, things work like magic. I hope in the days to come, in a long tenure of Honorable Chief Justice Chandrachud Sahab, we will definitely achieve many, many milestones for Indian judiciary, for our country. And my best wishes to the Honorable Chief Justice for a very fruitful tenure. And his family members are here. All my prayers for your good health, for your better family life, and also for your better service to the nation. Thank you very much. Jai Hind.
Friends, Mr. Apurva Sharma has just informed me that today is the happy birthday of Honorable Law Minister Shri Kiran Rijiju. Sir, wish you many, many happy returns of the day. We wish you all health, happiness, and the young looks you have always maintained. And now the jumbo garland for the Honorable Chief Justice of India and the Law Minister and Honorable guests. Friends, challenges before the Indian bar and judiciary are enormous. However, with the Honorable Justice Chandrachud heading the family, the hopes are equally enormous. हो गई है पीर पर्वत सी, पिघलनी चाहिए, इस हिमालय से कोई गंगा निकलनी चाहिए. Now I would request the Honorable Chief Justice of India to please address us.
Shri Kiran Rijiju ji, Union Law Minister, my distinguished colleagues, Shri Justice M.M. Sundaresh, Justice P.S. Narasimha, Chief Justice of the Delhi High Court, Justice Satish Sharma, Justice Rajendra Menon, the Chairperson of the Armed Forces Tribunal. I will of course take his name also, Shri R. Venkatramani, the Learned Attorney General, who was very gracious to come and participate in this function. Shri Manan Kumar Mishra ji, Chairperson of the Bar Council of India. Shri Apurva Kumar Sharma, Shri S. Prabhakaran, all the distinguished senior members of the Bar Council of India and of all the state bar councils, the High Court Bar Associations who have graced this occasion. Senior Member of Parliament, Mr. P. Wilson, all the members of the family who are here, particularly my very respected mother-in-law, my very gracious wife, my sister, brother-in-law, friends, my sisters-in-law who have traveled far and wide from Canada and Bangalore. Very dear friends Rebecca and Annie who are also traveling to be here. And friends, I must express my gratitude to all the members of the bar for having organized this beautiful function and wearing all these turbans with multi hues, different colors, different embroidery, different tapestry, different texture, the texture of the scarves, the colors of the scarves, the colors of the paintings which were presented to me, really symbolizes the vast diversity of the country. It reflects what we are as a people. But above all, it reminds us that through all these beautiful colors which define our clothes, our festivals, our religions, our ways of thinking, we are yet one nation. And we are welded together. We are welded together as one nation. Years and years ago, when the Constitution was drafted, a thought was expressed in the Constituent Assembly. How can a nation as diverse stay together? And over 7 decades since independence, after 75 years, we have demonstrated to the world that the reason why we are so tightly knit together in a bond of citizenship, in a bond of nationhood, is because we deeply understand and respect each other, our humanity, and what better place to respect than the members of the bar. Your chairperson is Manan Kumar Mishra ji. मनन को हम चिंतन भी कहलाते हैं, तो आज समय ऐसा है कि थोड़ा सा कुछ हम मनन चिंतन भी करें अपने इस व्यवसाय पे, on this institution of which we are proud members. I've been most honored to be compared with the youthful looks of the distinguished law minister. I can only say that he is genuinely young. I am only an imposter. While doing a quick Google search a short while ago, I realized that I was 12 years and 8 days old when the law minister was born. So that would justify my saying that I'm really an imposter. He belongs to the category of the young. My early years in the legal profession were years of learning, of imbibing, of sharing small luxuries, small pleasures, like the bar canteen where we would discuss law, we would discuss all the social issues of the day, and we would think that the weight of the nation was on our shoulders. And we believed that we had ideas to every social evil which plagues our society. On one wintry morning in the law school, I was a student of the Campus Law Center here in Delhi. One of my friends walked up to me over a cup of tea and said in Hindi, "Ab tu karega kya? What will you do in life?" So I said, "I will do exactly what all of us are here to do, which is to study law and become lawyers." But then he said, "Par zindagi kaise guzarega? How will you make your livelihood?" So I said, I was a little nonplussed, and I said that, well, by practicing law. But then he said that, देख, मैं आपको कुछ सच्चाई सुनाना चाहता हूँ कि इस प्रोफेशन में आपको जीना है तो और कुछ भी थोड़ा सा अपना ले. तो मैंने कहा, तो क्या अपना लें? What should I do? So he says, why don't you get a gas agency or a retail oil dealership? So you can tell the world that you are a lawyer, but you will have sufficient means to sustain yourselves. And I said to myself, that thought has never left me. Because in so many ways it reflects the truth about our profession. That while you have at the tip of the profession top-notch lawyers in the Supreme Court who would have, say, 7 or 8 screens open before them when the video conferencing hearings were going on so that they could flip from court to court at the flip of a mouse. Yet you have lawyers, when the court was shut and the registrar's court was not functioning during the COVID times, they were virtually living from hand to mouth. One of the first things that the Supreme Court Bar Association president told us was, "Sir, when you reopen the court, please get the registrar's court going." Now the registrar's court deals with very small procedural issues, substitution of legal heirs, placing a matter before the chamber court, all the small things for which juniors run to that court. But he said that is what sustains the junior's life and livelihood, because that's when a junior will get 800,000 rupees to appear and at the end of the month be able to sustain a family. For the longest period when I was a member of the Mumbai Bar, space was very difficult to get. So I had an office all of 180 square feet. But the beauty of my office is that you just crossed over from the High Court into my office, but it was all of 180 square feet, which was sufficient to sustain the kitchen, the home, the hearth, and the family. As a young law student, when we went to the Campus Law Center, we would take the DTC bus. I still remember the bus route numbers, which was 210, 220, or 240. It took the ring road. If it was very crowded, you took a 101, which went to Regal and which went through Old Delhi. It took a longer time. And again, as young students of law, we would use those conversations in these buses to talk about law, to talk about what we are reading, or just plain friendship and camaraderie. And that sense of friendship and camaraderie is what sustains our profession. All of us in the profession, and when I say all of us, I don't mean the judges, because by training, we do not have a political ideology. We decide cases on the basis of the law. But all of us as lawyers, we have our own ideologies, we have our own predilections, we have our own social backgrounds. But the beauty of the legal profession is that when we wear that black coat, a white shirt and black trouser, and wear that gown over us, it kind of masks everything that lies underneath. And it is a reminder to us that irrespective of what we profess or believe, we are all involved in one common mission, which is the mission to do justice to common citizens. I did my BA in Economics Honours from St. Stephen's College, an elite institution of the university, of which I am deeply proud even today. Some of the finest minds in the country, which are laying down policy even today, were batchmates of mine, and I look up to them even now. But that journey from St. Stephen's College to the Campus Law Center was a journey of a different universe. Because when we became students of law, you had students from all different backgrounds. Not students who are necessarily academically the brightest students in the nation, but students who had an earthy understanding of life, farmers' children, children who would be the first generation of lawyers in their families, who taught us about the reality of India and from whom we learned the reality of India. An independent bar is inextricably linked with the independence of the judiciary. The reason for that is that as judges, we have no personal defense or a platform to defend ourselves. I always welcome critiques of judgments, and naturally so, because the areas of law which we write on, particularly as judges of superior courts like the High Courts and now the Supreme Court, many of these areas of law do not speak of one solution. Even when we deliver a judgment or write something, you go back and ask yourself, is this the best solution which I have found? You would be a hypocrite if you didn't question yourself. So because we write on areas which are so complex, socially complex, there are bound to be differences of opinion, and any critique of the court is welcome. But ultimately, our real defense to our own independence as judges comes from the bar. And it is a bar which has stood up for what is right in the judiciary. I was part of a bar which passed a resolution against 4 judges of the Bombay High Court whom we felt were not exactly true to their oath of loyalty to the Constitution, to do their duties without fear or favor, affection or ill will. And we passed a resolution that we will cease to appear before those judges. But that same bar has stood for the independence of judges when they have been wronged. So we are, in that sense, when we are members of the bar, we are the conscience keepers of the nation's judiciary, conscience keepers of the quest for justice to common citizens. The district judiciary, whom so many of you represent as bar councillors, is the first point of interface with our common citizens. When a common citizen has a problem, say an arrest or a threat of arrest, the first point of contact is that when you apply under section 438 before the court of competent jurisdiction in the district judiciary and seek anticipatory bail, at the stage of remand, that is the point where the citizen has the first interface with the system of administering justice in our country, not with the high courts, not with the Supreme Court, but with the district judiciary. Our district judiciary is really confronted with a paucity of infrastructure. The central government has a large number of schemes, but the monies which are meant for the district judiciary have to devolve on the district judiciary for improving the infrastructure. Just the other day when the Supreme Court Bar Association felicitated me, I pointed out the reality of the district judiciary as it functions. I pointed out that when I was the administrative judge of the district of Kolhapur in Maharashtra, there was no toilet for women judges. And the women judges told us as administrative judges that we go to work at 8:30 in the morning and our first interface with the toilet is at 6 o'clock in the evening when we return home. We feel extremely awkward to go to the public toilet for women because we have to cross the under-trials who are sitting just outside the toilet, and I'm then sitting in the court. Just the other day, I read a report about the fact that there was no toilet for women in Hathras. Now, this is not just a problem of funds, it's also a question of commitment. of us to ensure that funds which are made available are truly employed for the purpose for which they are intended. But yet our district judiciary soldiers on. As we saw, our district judiciary soldiered on during the times of the COVID-19 pandemic. Our lawyers suffered very grave distress during the course of the COVID-19 pandemic. Just as society suffered distress. Yet our bar associations tried to keep the flag burning, the torchlight burning, and the flag flying high by providing for assistance to lawyers. So this was a great mission which the Bar Council of India, our High Court Bar Associations, the district bar associations did to protect young lawyers, middle-aged lawyers, who live from month to month, who have no resources to fall back upon if there is a point of distress. Much has to be still done for improving the service conditions of our district judiciary. But above all, we have to bring to our district judiciary a sense of dignity, a sense of self-worth, a sense of confidence in their own respectability, which is why I always say that our district judiciary is not a subordinate judiciary. It is really the district judiciary which is equally important in the affairs of the nation's judiciary as in the High Court or the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court may lay down these big ticket judgments, as they called, important issues which are decided by the Supreme Court. But the district judiciary in those small cases, they define the peace, the happiness, tranquility, and faith of common citizens. The way we look at the district judiciary affects deeply our own personal liberty as citizens. If district judges do not have the confidence in their own abilities, in their own respect, in the hierarchical system, how would we expect a district judge to grant bail in an important case? It is very easy to have a general mantra in a criminal case. The offense is a heinous offense, therefore there shall be no bail. This is an offense involving murder. This is an offense involving rape. So there shall be no bail. But we know as judges, and you know as lawyers, that even within that category of cases where the offense is heinous, there may be a tendency to rope in somebody who is not exactly guilty. We also know that sometimes informants tend to over-exaggerate a first information report. Now, how do you sift those who may be guilty from those who may possibly not be guilty? That is the art of the district judge himself, and that is what the lawyers have to point out to the district judiciary. And it is when we do this common mission, the higher courts are getting flooded with bail applications. I've just taken a decision as Chief Justice of India that there are 2,000 bail applications pending in the Supreme Court, 3,000 transfer petitions pending in the Supreme Court, 5,000 out of the total pendency. So we decided at the full court meeting the other day that all benches of the Supreme Court will take 10 bail applications every single day. The idea being that we have 13 benches today. So 130 bail applications will be disposed of, 650 at the end of 1 week. Hopefully at the end of 4 weeks we would have, of course there will be fresh bail applications. But this turnover has to constantly be maintained of matters which are filed and matters which are disposed of. But the reason why the higher judiciary is getting flooded with bail applications is because of the reluctance of the grassroots to grant bail. And why are judges at the grassroots reluctant to grant bail? Not because they don't have the ability, not because the judges at the grassroots don't understand the crime. They probably understand the crime better than many of the higher court judges because they know what crime is at the grassroots in the districts. But there is a sense of fear that if I grant bail, will somebody target me tomorrow on the ground that I granted bail in a heinous case? This sense of fear, nobody talks about, but which we must confront. Because unless we do that, we are going to render our district courts toothless and our higher courts dysfunctional. One of your members from Varanasi just gave me a very beautiful statement written in Hindi this evening, that why is the High Court of Judicature at Allahabad flooded with bail applications? Should these applications not be considered by the district judiciary? But the reason for it is the culture of distrust which we have generated amongst ourselves. Why should we distrust any person who grants relief to a citizen? If you commit an error, surely that error is amenable to correction. And it's not that we in the Supreme Court never commit errors. As they always say, the Supreme Court is not final because it is right, but it is right because it is final. So the process of dispensing justice is so intrinsically human that we have to learn to trust our district judiciary. Because it is when we learn to trust our district judiciary that we will truly answer the needs of our common citizens who seek access to justice. As chairperson of the E-Committee, I've been greatly benefited by the collaboration with the Department of Justice, which the Law Minister oversees as both Minister for Law and the Justice Wings. Now, there is a technological divide in our country, which Manan Kumarji referred to a short while ago. But when we employ technology, let me make it very clear that the purpose is not to exclude. The purpose is to include lawyers, to include citizens. Technology cannot ever be exclusionary in its ambit. The idea is to make life more transparent, more efficient for young members of the bar. Let me give you an example. If a young lawyer today wants to access Supreme Court judgments or High Court judgments, you have to pay a hefty fee to purchase a software by one of the top software providers. One of the things which I felt was, is there no way for us to provide these judgments free of cost to young lawyers? Of course, all of you, as many of you are distinguished seniors of the bar, and you are most welcome, as I am provided a very fine software by the funds of the Union of India as a judge, because you require these funds for proper software for our judges. But look at the plight of a young lawyer before a civil judge junior division in a taluka court. We today on the National Judicial Data Grid, we have 77 lakh High Court judgments which have already been uploaded. Now, if all these 77 now, I've constituted a committee of 3 judges of the High Court, Justice Rajiv Shakdar of the Delhi High Court, Justice Raja Vijay Raghavan of the Kerala High Court, and Justice Suraj Govindaraj of the Karnataka High Court, to bring out uniform neutral citations. And I'm expecting that the report will be delivered to us very shortly, so that all these judgments which are now loaded on the NJDJ can be cited in a court of law. So this will be an enormous benefit to young lawyers who can access these judgments. If we do not provide the means for young lawyers to access judgments, to read judgments, how will they learn the law? And if they have to pay a hefty fee to even get judgments of the Supreme Court or the High Courts, how will they have access to the law? So we must create, by the use of technology, conditions. One of the missions of the E-Committee is to train human resources. So we have master trainers at the state level, master trainers at the district level, master trainers at the taluka level across India. And the idea is to train our lawyers on the use of technology. Third, we must not expect young lawyers, senior lawyers, middle-level lawyers, or our citizens to reach out to courts. The courts must reach out to them. So as part of the phase 3 of our e-courts project, we are setting up e-seva kendras in every court establishment. Even in the Supreme Court, when we want matters to be filed through e-filing, as so many of your bar counselors have told me, lawyers don't have laptops. Young lawyers may not have desktops. But why should the court system exclude them? So we propose to set up, and we are in the process of setting up e-seva kendras across India in every court establishment where all these services will be available. Under the Digital India mission of the Union government, the CSCs the service corporations are going to provide e-services at the level of every Gram Panchayat. We have fused our e-court services with the CSE centers so that down to the level of each Gram Panchayat, these facilities of courts, whether it is in terms of knowledge about the next date of hearing, judicial orders, various other services can be provided to all our citizens. Let me briefly deal with one or two other issues which are very close to my heart before I conclude. It's been a long evening for all of you as well, which is the issue of legal education. Very often we are asked as judges, why don't we have more women in the high courts? Why don't we have more women in the Supreme Court? Why is there no woman judge in the Patna High Court? Now, one thing which we need to understand is that the face of the legal profession today, or the face of the judicial institutions today, the face of the Supreme Court today, the face of the High Courts today, reflects the state of the legal profession 30 years ago, and in the case of the Supreme Court 40 years ago. I joined the legal profession in 1982. That's roughly the time when most of my colleagues joined the legal profession, give or take a few years. So who enters the Supreme Court today is largely defined by what was the state of the legal profession when we all joined the profession 40 years ago. In the High Courts is 30 years. In the Supreme Court, typically we would have put in 10 years extra before we come here. In my case, it was 16 years before I came to the Supreme Court. Now, what happens as a result is that if we do not create an equal opportunity legal profession today, these problems which confront the marginalized communities, not just women, but marginalized communities, will continue to fester in our legal profession decades down the line. So if we have to improve the state of access to opportunities to higher judicial offices, we have to change the face of the legal profession today in terms of who enters the legal profession. And the responsibility for that is not just of the government or the higher judiciary. The responsibility for that is of all of you as citizens, as lawyers. In our profession, is it not very commonplace that juniors find seniors on the basis of an informal network? Some will call it an old boys club, but at least there are networks. We do not have a merit-based method of selecting young lawyers who will be recruited to chambers. How many seniors pay their juniors decent salaries? If you are staying in Delhi or Mumbai or Bangalore or Calcutta, how much does it cost for a young lawyer to survive? Even in a place like Allahabad, if a young lawyer is coming in from the districts, you have to find place to stay, you have to find place to pay, some rent to pay, transportation, food. Our young lawyers do not have even chambers where they are paid money. That must change. And the burden of doing that is on us as senior members of the profession. But too long we regard the youngsters in our profession as slave workers. Why? Because that's how we grew up. We can't now tell the young lawyers today that that's how we grew up. You know, this was the old ragging principle in Delhi University. Those who are ragged always ragged those people who are below them. Because it was you're passing on the blessings of being ragged, you see. Sometimes it got very bad. But the point is that seniors today cannot say that, well, that's how I learned the law in the hard way, and therefore I will now not pay my juniors. Those times were very different. Families were smaller, there was family resources, and so many young lawyers who could have made it to the top never made it, for the simple reason that they had no resources. So this structure of the legal profession, which is so patriarchal, sometimes so caste-based, has to change so that we as lawyers discharge our duties to our society to make the legal profession open up to our people from different communities, from the marginalized groups in our society. On the infrastructure of the district judiciary, next week we are holding the celebrations for the Constitution Day on the 26th of November. the Honorable Prime Minister has agreed to inaugurate the Constitution Day celebrations, and the President of India will be delivering the valedictory address. All the Chief Justices of the High Courts are coming to the Supreme Court, where we are going to discuss issues of infrastructure, technology, appointments, everything that needs to be done in the Indian judiciary. Beginning with the district judiciary. I'm very happy that the Bar Council of India is setting up a new university, the new International University at Goa. The National Law School of India University, which was set up in Bangalore, has become now a front runner for change. When I was a young lawyer, people first went to medicine, then they went to engineering, then they went to architecture, whatever. If you had nothing else to do, you also went into the law. But which is not to say that the best did not get into the law. The best did get into the law. Because it's just that you probably didn't have the mind enough to be a doctor or an engineer. Now the best are coming into the legal profession. The Bar Council of India has a very large role and credit for that by setting up the NLSIU at Bangalore under the auspices of Professor Madhav Menon. And then the movement spread. You now have national law schools all over the country. Some of them are surviving well, some of them are only national in name. But you have excellent national law schools, including those at Kolkata, Delhi, Hyderabad, in Jodhpur. So the national law school movement has given rise to serious lawyers in the profession. Many of them are now joining the district judiciary. And we need to tap this talent so that the young lawyers who are being turned out from the national law schools at the end of 5 years of study, they become judges in the district judiciary, and eventually they will move up into the higher echelons. The recent recruitment in Rajasthan to the district judiciary gave rise to a situation where over 60% of the women people who were recruited were women. That's a clear sign of the changing times. Just as women's education is now catching up, more and more women are not joining just the armed forces, thanks to the judgment of the Supreme Court, but they are now entering the portals of our profession, and they will become distinguished lawyers of tomorrow. But my concern is that the optimism, the sense of hope, the sense of being proud citizens of this nation, this should not desert our young people when they actually enter the legal profession, when they come face to face with the reality of the legal profession. In the law schools, they'll read about all our constitutional jurisprudence. They'll read about, some of the best cases on criminal jurisprudence, whether it is Gurbakh Singh Sibia or Machi's case, or, just name it, and you'll have them be so conversant with those cases which define personal liberty for our citizens. But when they come into the court, and they have their first interface with court, that sense of optimism should not give way to cynicism. And I think the burden is on all of us, in whatever capacity we are, whether as administrators of the bar, as judges of the High Court and the Supreme Court, to keep the sense of optimism alive. And therefore, I always, when I have a young lawyer who appears before me, I will always spend a little more time. I know that there is a pile of arrears waiting for us to dispose of as judges of the Supreme Court. But at the end of the day, I feel that, well, for all the work that we do, these arrears are not going to go away overnight. But then if I spend 10 more minutes with a young lawyer and give them a little guidance on how to argue a case, something good has happened for the institution of justice in our nation. So I will request all of you, so many of you are senior members of the profession, to do your own bit. Spend a little more time with your juniors. Give them better access to education. And the level of talent is so enormous. Last year I had one slot for a law clerk. There were 650 applications for that one slot of a law clerk in the chambers. It just shows you the quality of the talent which is there in our country. Now the question is about not generating the talent, but how do you utilize the talent in this task of nation building by creating appropriate conditions for them to work and to survive. Finally, as I conclude, let me just say that I hope that my tenure as Chief Justice would be marked by a sense of harmony and balance. One thing which I think what I learned, and I've been asked this repeatedly in the last few weeks, the press wants to get some sound bites out of you. I don't think I provided adequate sound bites. But one thing which I have always learned from the elders with whom I associated, not just within the family but outside as well, elders who I even now respect, is that what defines a good life is a sense of harmony and balance. To eschew positions which will destroy stability, harmony and balance. Because harmony and balance is crucial to maintaining the tranquility of our society. And courts as institutions of governance in the country have a very important role to define that sense of harmony and balance. I did that as Chief Justice of the Allahabad High Court when I moved from Mumbai. It was a very different learning experience. Mumbai was a commercial city, high value matters. You opened a tax case and it was 5,000 crores. And you didn't bat an eyelid and you looked only at the legal principle. We were trained to do that as company court judges, as tax judges, as commercial court judges. When I went to the Allahabad High Court, I realized that you were dealing with issues of primary teachers. Teachers who feel that, well, I've crossed the age bar, but I need that 6 months relaxation so that I can be a good teacher. On harmony and balance, just one last word and I'm done. Dr. Ambedkar, when he spoke to the Constituent Assembly on the eve of the adoption of the Constitution, said that satyagraha, strike, this was an instrument when we were under colonial rule. He said that we are now making the migration to home rule. We are ruling ourselves. So satyagraha, strike, which was very relevant to the times of the colonial rule, must give way to cooperation, stability, tranquility and balance. And that's the tranquility, balance and social stability that I speak about. So as members of the bar, I would appeal to you. I was Chief Justice for 3 years in Allahabad. We had a couple of strikes, but I would always call upon our lawyers and say, come on, talk to me. What's the problem that you're facing? Why this feeling that we strike against each other? Because when lawyers strike, you don't strike, who suffers? The consumer of justice for whom we exist suffers. Not the judges, not the lawyers. Possibly the lawyers, because after a few days the fees start drying up. But the greatest sufferer is the consumer, the person for whom justice is meant. So I think so much of what confronts us in terms of our problems, in terms of our pendency, can be resolved by dialogue, by understanding. And I think it's important for the members of the bar to also realize that so very often when we take decisions in an administrative capacity in the Supreme Court, we are looking at things in a national perspective. Lawyers say coming from the district judiciary, and I don't blame them, will look at it from their district judiciary perspective. Members of the bar from a high court will look at it from the perspective of that particular high court. I always tell colleagues from the high court, now that I interact with them so often, that the Supreme Court does not reverse a high court because you are wrong. But sometimes you feel that the view which you are taking is a better view from a national perspective, from the development of a national scheme of judicial precedent. Not because the High Court was necessarily wrong. Because there are always two shades to a legal issue, as we know, or a social issue. So you must always trust. We must also learn to trust. Of course, question those in authority. But we must always learn to trust those in authority to a certain extent, at least, that they have the best welfare of the institution at heart. Sometimes, if you have the best welfare of the institution at heart, you have to take some tough decisions. But if we didn't take those decisions, it would be so easy to say, well, I'll have a nice time until the Constitution tells me to retire. Well, everybody, if we all did that, how would the country be a better place after a few years? So our mission is just the same. I must thank you from the bottom of my heart for this beautiful reception, the beautiful function. Usually I've been here when other Chief Justices, my predecessors, have been felicitated. And I would sit back and I would chuckle at, these large bouquets being handed over. Now it was my turn today to receive all of them. But I realize that, each bouquet, each of those scarves, each of those turbans carries the weight of the expectations of the nation. So I'm sometimes worried about the weight of the expectations, because after all, I'm only a human being. And all your earnest desires and efforts are subject to so much, which the environment in which we live also affects and produces in terms of consequences. But we'll try our best, and I'm sure that you'll at least have one assurance from me that everything that I do would be in the interests of preserving the institution of justice so that it continues to have the faith of our common citizens. Thank you.
Friends, the message of Honorable Chief Justice of India is loud and clear. सिर्फ हंगामा खड़ा करना मेरा मकसद नहीं, मेरी कोशिश है कि ये सूरत बदलनी चाहिए. Now vote of thanks by Shri Jayant Jabhavai. On concluding this very beautiful evening, I will be very brief for the vote of thanks, and I request all the gathering to be seated for only 5 minutes. We are thankful to Honorable Dr. D.Y.Chandrachud, Chief Justice of India, for accepting this felicitation in this evening. And I quote the appropriate word of Justice Sundaresh, that sir, you are our superstar for an entire fraternity. Today's felicitation was a moment of a joy and celebration. It was not only the celebration of making a felicitation of a Chief Justice of India, but along with that, it was a celebration of recognizing the knowledge, thought, modern vision, and above that, a great soul with a great humanity and a spirit of a justice in a heart, which possess in the personality of Dr. D.Y.Chandrachud. We are thankful for accepting this invitation, sir. 2 generations of the state of Maharashtra from which I come is motivated with your speeches and your thoughts, and only by observing how the Dr. Chandrachud works. And I'm sure, being a Chief Justice of India, now the entire youth of the country will be inspired by your personality, and you will be really recognized as the superstar of the country. We are thankful on behalf of 21 lakhs lawyers of the country for accepting this felicitation. And lastly, sir, we are sure that Goa University, which the Bar Council of India has started, under your guidance, we will change the legal education to the education of justice, as said today by the words of the Honorable Attorney General, sir. Thank you very much. As a Marathi Manus, sir, amala apla abhiman hai, sir. We are thankful to all family members of Honorable Justice Chandrachud and Honorable Mrs. Rashmi Chandrachud, Madam. Kindly convey our thanks from the bottom of our heart for all the entire family members for being present today, for sparing their very valuable time. We are thankful to you. Honorable Minister of Law and Justice of India, Honorable Kiran Rijiju, sir, you told today that you are not a typical lawyer, but we know that you are a part of our legal fraternity, and you are more an advocate of the masses. And therefore, sir, whenever dissenting views are for the development of the society, they always appreciated by the masses. The law is also based on the dissenting judgments which has developed the law of this country. So we very well appreciate your all views, including your dissenting views. We are sure that if required, we will confront, we will have a discussions,
but we are sure that you are always participating the functions of the Bar Council with full of your support and full of your involvement in the Bar Council, and therefore we are thankful for you, sir, for being very friendly with the Bar Council of India. Today we are thankful to Honorable Justice M.M. Sudresh, sir, not for witnessing the function, but conceptualizing a superstar of the justice. Because our profession is said to be a bore profession, but still stars are born, and you have pointed out to the country that there can be a superstar in this profession. We are thankful for you, sir. We are also thankful to Honorable Justice P.S. Narasimha, the Judge of the Supreme Court, and to be proud to be a Chancellor of the Goa University. And under his leadership, we are sure that from legal education of a justice will be a changed form of the legal education in the country henceforth. We are thankful to Honorable Justice Satish Sharma, sir, Chief Justice of the Delhi High Court, for witnessing this function, sir. We are also thankful to Honorable Justice Rajendra Menon, sir, former Chief Justice of High Court of Patna and the current Chairman of the Armed Forces Tribunal. We are thankful to Honorable Mr. R. Venkataramani, the Attorney General of the India. He, in very able words, has given a vision about the change in requirement of a change in the legal education, and we are sure we will try to work out in a Goa University. We are thankful to Honorable Chairman of the Bar Council of India, not for organizing this function, but putting a very wealthy thoughts on occasion of this felicitation. We are sure, sir, that with your all this vision, you will work out. Honorable the Vice Chairman, Prabhakaran, sir, you have given us a new direction to work out. We are thankful to you. All honorable members of the Bar Council of India, the State Bar Council coming from the entire country, the chairman, the office bearers, the president of the various High Court Bar Associations, Honorable Anil Singh, the Additional Solicitor General, all the senior advocates, all the advocates coming throughout from the country, Honorable Sri Veda Prakash Sharma ji, who has made all this comparing along with Honorable Madam Jyoti Wagmare, and ultimately for all the participants, we are thankful. We are sure that in the tenure of Honorable Dr. D.Y.Chandrachud, the bar and bench will have a very cordial relations together with all the issues, to the litigations, to the legal education, and making the constitution most effective constitution. We will work together. Thank you very much. Jai Hind. Thank you.
National anthem. Please rise for national anthem. Thank you very much. Please keep sitting till the honorable guest leave the auditorium. Please take your seats, please.
Sir, thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Nice. आज आपने दिल्ली
बधाई हो चलिए आप चलिए
Sir, thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. Yes, always, sir. Yeah.
It's okay. Sometimes these things can happen.
Yes.